What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Whiskey Somm Sips. Whiskey's out of my book, The Beginner's Guide to Whiskey, Traditions, Types, and Tastes of the Ultimate Spirit. Link is in the description below if you want to pick up a copy for yourself, a friend, your neighbor, a jilted lover, or that crazy guy living on the corner of your street. Today we're talking about George Dickel Tennessee Whiskey, Bottled and Bond. This is the 11-year release. This is the second release of the George Dickel Bottled and Bond. The first one was a 13-year. And it sold out and sold like hotcakes and like wildfire. It's a tasty whiskey. It's a Tennessee whiskey and it's bottled and bond. So let's go over what those two terms mean real quick. Tennessee whiskey is whiskey distilled in the state of Tennessee and having gone through a charcoal mellowing or charcoal filtration process. That is including brands like Jack Daniel's, George Dickel, Nelson's Greenbrier. The exclusion is Pritchard's Tennessee whiskey because they were using Tennessee whiskey before it was a thing. And then Bottled and Bond, bottled at exactly 100 proof, following all the ABCs of bourbon. A, American made. Bourbon can be made anywhere in the 50 United States of America, including Alaska, Hawaii, and the U.S. territories Puerto Rico and Guam. That one is up for debate, but last I checked, the TTB allows it. B, barrel. Bourbon must be aged in a new charred oak barrel. The law says container. Most people interpret that as barrel. C, for corn. It must be a minimum of 51% or more corn. D stands for distillation proof, and E stands for entry proof. Distilled no higher than 160. Put into barrel no higher than 125. S stands for fill proof, as in the bourbon must be filled into the bottles at no lower than 40% alcohol or 80 proof. And G stands for genuine, meaning you cannot adulterate bourbon in any way, shape, or form. The only thing allowed to be added to bourbon is water. Water to bring it down to barreling proof. Water to bring it down to bottling proof. So, now that we remember the ABCs of bourbon, let's go over Bottled and Bond. So, Bottled and Bond is distilled at one distillery in one distilling season, of which there are 2 every year, January to June, and then July to December. It must be bottled at no more, no less than 100 proof, and it must be a minimum of 4 years old. So it is a straight bourbon whiskey, or a straight whiskey. Bottled and Bond does not exclusively mean bourbon. You can have Bottled and Bond rye, Bottled and Bond Tennessee whiskey, as we have here. So, that being said, Tennessee whiskey is essentially bourbon plus. Tennessee whiskey must follow all the laws of bourbon, plus that extra step of the charcoal mellowing, charcoal filtration that is required by law. So, this is an 11-year-old Bottled and Bond Tennessee whiskey. That being said, all that stuff aside, let's give it a nose and a taste, shall we? Big thank you to our friends at Diageo. Again, thank you. We appreciate your support of the Beginner's Guide to Whiskey and of me. This is smooth. Oh, God, I hate using that word, but it's the first thing that came to my mind. This is really approachable, really delicate, well balanced. It's got nice notes of sweetness in there. I'm picking up that tannic bitter. And I found that, this charcoal mellowing process does actually, give the whiskey a unique flavor. And not just me, by the way. I believe it was the Treasury Department. I will seek out that letter and update you guys if I can figure it out. But Jack Daniel's Distillery sent a letter to the government basically saying, look, we are not making bourbon, we are making Tennessee whiskey. We are our own Oh, appellation of origin. We are our own, yeah, appellation of origin. Cru in cognac or in wine, actually, too. This is really buttery. Reminds me of cookie dough, actually. On to the taste. This is the rye heavy mash bill. Whew! What is up with my palate today, you guys? Everything is just like hitting me in the face. And this is 100 proof. This is nothing. I drink this for breakfast. This is cereal whiskey. This is the rye heavy mash bill, like I was saying, because I get that rye spice right away. It actually overpowers the corn. It's got that pickle note, but it's also kind of candied, which I like. Clove on the back of the palate. Good finish in terms of heat, but not so much in terms of flavor. It does leave a little bit to be desired. That being said, it's still a delicious whiskey. And I'm going to enjoy this glass. We'll see you tomorrow.